Room of Presqu'île newspapers at the corner of 3rd and Erie in Rogers City. This is Peter Jakey with a preview of the headlines from this week's edition of the Presqu'île County Advance. On the front page, about 2,000 people gathered on the steps and lawn of the state capitol building Tuesday to urge state lawmakers to approve 2 power plant projects being proposed in Bay City and Rogers City. Many of the people were skilled trades union members, but a contingent from Rogers City was part of the crowd there to try and move some politicians in the right direction, said retired Rogers City police officer Bill Stevenson. The only speaker to take the podium from Rogers City was Mayor Beach Hall. More details in this week's edition of The Advance. Wolverine Power Cooperative also made news on the state and federal level this week. First of all, Wolverine submitted a letter to the Michigan Public Service Commission rebutting findings of a report prepared by MPSC staff last month. At the federal level, U.S. Congressman Bart Stupak announced that Wolverine has received a $2.7 million grant for an industrial carbon capture and storage project that will include construction. Wolverine's letter to the MPSC chairman questions the validity of the MPSC staff process, details Wolverine's indisputable need for baseload capacity beginning in 2012, describes the world-class nature of the proposed project, and addresses Wolverine's long-term power supply obligations to its member cooperatives. Wolverine continues to participate in numerous confidential power supply discussions with utilities throughout the Midwest, said Eric D. Baker, Wolverine president and CEO. Despite our sincere and best efforts to date, we have not received a single meaningful, competitively priced long-term offer for power supply. On the federal level, the $2.7 million grant was awarded by the U.S. Department of Energy as part of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009. Members of the Iowa Press Association studied thousands of entries submitted by Michigan newspapers when they judged the 2009 Michigan Press Association Better Newspaper Contest. Judges selected the publication We Remember as the top special section for the year in the weekly newspaper category. The 28-page special section on the sinking of the Carl D. Bradley featured a retelling of the tragedy as covered in the Presqu'île County Advance in November 1958, and many original contributions. The judges said the special section offered excellent coverage of a historic event. The old newspaper stories and old photos were mixed wonderfully with news of the ship today. Design and layout of this special section were excellent. Very nice work, the judges said. The results were announced as part of National Newspaper Week. In sports, the Advance has details and photos of Rogers City's 48-30 loss to Rudyard in the Friday night homecoming game. Played in the rain and strong wind, the teams combined for 12 turnovers in poor conditions for football. We have all the details and photos from those games, as well as results of Rogers City cross country and volleyball and Posen volleyball. All these stories and the sports roundup from Rogers City and Posen are featured in this week's edition of The Advance. Presqu'île County Advance is on area newsstands this afternoon with all these stories and much more. For subscription information, call The Advance at 734-2105 and check us out online at piadvance.com. This is Peter Jakey, Managing Editor of Presqu'île Newspapers in Rogers City.